Research located at New Delhi. So this particular institute is in the Kerala in the place called Kozhikode. It's also called known by the name Calicut. Yeah, as we all know, the black pepper is also called or known as king of spices because of its aroma. So if you look at the area where black pepper is grown in our country, it is mainly the southern Indian states, especially the Karnataka and Kerala. They occupy large area under black pepper. To some extent, it is grown in Tamil Nadu and in the Western Ghat region of Maharashtra and to Orissa, and also some of the northeast states also it's grown, black pepper is grown. We look at the 2020 and 2021 statistics. So in India, it is grown in an area of 2,59,000 hectares with a production of 65,000 metric tons. Now you can see the picture here. Black pepper, as we all know, it is grown usually as a intercrop in the other plantation crops like coffee, tea, then maybe arecanut, coconut, or any forestry or things like that. So this requires a warm, humid tropics. So physiography is it requires an undulating hill slope or plains. Plains also is okay, and it's grown from an elevation starting from 750 to 1,500 meters altitude. So in the rainfall, 1,250 to 2,000 millimeter annually, and ideal temperature for the growing of black pepper is 15 to 35 degrees centigrade, with a humidity ranging from 60 to 95 degrees, 95%. It requires a well-drained sandy loam with the pH ranging from 4.5 to 6.5. These are some of the improved or released varieties from our institute. So this particular variety is called as a Shikara, which gives an average yield of 2,677 kg dry pepper per hectare, and it has piperine content 4.3 and oil content 4%. This is another variety called as Shubhakara, which gives an yield of average yield of 2,352 kg dry per hectare and has a high essential oil of 6%. This is again a variety released from our institute named as Panchami. So gives 4.7% of piperine. This is the Paunami. So it has a special additional character is that it is tolerant to root knot nematode. Nematode is a pest attacking this crop. So this is known to be tolerant to the nematode infestation. Then, as we all know, Phytophthora is an important disease on the black pepper which causes quick wilt. So we have two varieties which are tolerant to Phytophthora. So one is called as IASR Tevam, which has essential oil of 3.1%. It is tolerant to Phytophthora. Similarly, another variety is called as IASR Shakti, which is also tolerant to Phytophthora. There are some hybrids released from our institute. That is, one is the IASR Girimunda. The yield is 2,880 kg dry per hectare with an essential oil content of 3.4%. Similarly, this is the IASR Malabar XL with an yield of 1,440 and piperine and oleoresin content given here. These are the other varieties developed through the All India Coordinated Research Projects system. So I think all of us know about the All India Coordinated Research Project on spices. So this is the mainly released from the Kerala Agriculture University. That is starting with Paniyur one of the oldest hybrid in black pepper. And in fact, this is the only variety I would say is occupying a large area of black pepper in the country. The details of its yield and salient features is provided here. Paniyur 1, Paniyur 2, Paniyur 3 is again in hybrid, in Paniyur 4, Paniyur 5, Panure 6, Panure 7, and Panure 8 is again a hybrid. It's again tolerant to phytophthora and drought. And Arca Cool Excel is released from the IAHR Bengaluru. It's also high yielding varieties. So these are some of the improved or released varieties from different organizations for the black pepper. Coming to its propagation, I think most of us know that black pepper is a vegetatively propagated perennial crop. Lives productive year, maybe life maybe 25 to 30 years. So since it is vegetatively propagated, so we have to prepare the planting materials. So there are different methods by which the rooted cuttings of black pepper is prepared. So one of the well-known traditional method is this is the traditional method where in black pepper actually there are three kinds of shoots. So one of the shoot is called as runner shoots. As we see here, this is a runner shoot which runs on the ground. That's why they are called as runner shoots. So these are used for propagation purpose. They don't yield any pepper, but they simply grow on the ground horizontally. So they are used for propagation or multiplication of the planting material. And then we have what is called as a plegiographic shoot, which grows horizontally that or laterally. So that's the one where we get the black pepper yield. You get the spike production you will see only at the lateral branches. And then, as we all know, that we have an orthotropic shoot, that is the one which goes in the top, which grows. So, in the traditional method, the black pepper is propagated by cutting these runner shoots. You can cut the runner shoots and then make into 2 to 3 nodes, and then place them in the polythene bag containing potting mixture. And then this can be kept in. This should be kept in a humid place, as you can cover it with a polythene bag for maintaining the humidity. It has to be watered regularly, and leave it for hardening. About within a month, you will see the new leaf coming from these shoots, and the plants will be ready for planting by, if you start this process by February, March. So they will be ready for the planting in the coming season, that is May, June, because May, June is the right season for planting in the field. That is just before the onset of the monsoon. So this method gives a success rate ranging from 70 to 90%. Then the second method is called as a split bamboo method. So in this case, the propagation is done like this. The bamboos are split open, and they are placed, bamboo poles are placed at a 45-degree angle, and then you fill this with the wire pits and any rooting media with the mother plants at the base. So after this is filled with the rooting media, then the one mother plant is placed here. There is one polythene bag, or straight away you can mother plant is planted at the base of this, so in a series. So then as it grows, so as we see, there will be, as the growth proceeds, fill up the bamboo and form the support at nodes. So as it grows, as we know, it's each node there will be rooting, because you have provided that these bamboos are filled with the rooting media. So at the nodal region, we will see the rooting. So as it covers the entire bamboo area, this individually the nodes can be cut. So these cut nodes with the roots are then planted in the nursery bags and allow it for growing till get another 1 or 2 fresh leaves, then which will be ready for planting in the main field. This is the another method. The only thing is that requires little establishment. They require a structure and the bamboo. So it is not possible to do for an individual farmer. This is one of the very cheapest and very effective or very successful method of propagating the black pepper. It's called as a serpentine. So as the name indicates, you will see a serpentine here. So how it is done is that one rooted cutting is placed in each row. So let us say you have a large area, you can start with one rooted black pepper cuttings, and then as we know, as the plant grows, place the polybag filled with the potting mixture at each node. As the plant grows, at each node you can see you can place the polybag containing the nursery mixture, potting mixture. see here. And this nodal rosin is then slightly pressed so that it will come in touch with the soil. So wherever it comes in touch with the soil, then the rooting will take place. So in about 3 months, you can see about you can place about 15 new bags like this. So after this individual bags can in the internode region you can give a cut so that individual bags are separated and then they can be kept like this. You can see here these are the serpentine, and serpentine it is cut and kept here for fresh growth. So once you cut and leave it, you will get the new leaves. 2 to 3 fresh leaves will come within about 2 to 3 months, and then it will be ready for planting in the main field. So the multiplication rate is 1 to 60. That means one mother plant you can get the 60 new plants in a year. So from one mother plant you can get 60 new plants. So success rate is quite higher, 90 to 100%. And this is the one which can be easily adaptable by planters at their own field because it does not require any extra structure or anything. So only it can be wherever they have a place in front of their courtyard or wherever there is a shade. This can be practiced. You can see the root system. It's a very robust root system. You will see, see this is the cut one. You can see the shoots coming from that. Then it can also be propagated through protray method. Soilless protray method can be done. This is ideally suitable if the rooted cuttings have to be transported for long say distance, because it will not damage, because in the bag means the bag may be dislocated, soil, so the material there will be loss of planting material. But in this case, so it will be very easy for transportation because you will see here it is will be formed. Okay. Now coming to the how you prepare the nursery. So as I said, the black pepper is susceptible to a soil-borne disease called Phytophthora. That is why the potting mixture what you use is better. We always solarize it. That is solarized soil should be used for potting mixture preparation. This can be done by exposing the potting mixture, the soil selected for potting mixture under the hot sun for about 45 days. And then once you solarize the soil, this can be fortified with the nursery mixture, with the trichoderma, that's a biocultural agent, and VAM and fluorescent pseudomonas, so that they will grow in the nursery potting mixture and will also control any residue Phytophthora present in the soil. So this can be used for spray as well as drench. You can prepare the potting mixture in the ratio of 20 to 80 using the coir pit compost enriched with rock phosphate at the rate of 10%. It's a good media for this. So because as we all know that sand is very difficult to get nowadays. So our study clearly shows that sand can be replaced with the granite powder for the preparation of potting mixture. In fact, we get an advantage of because granite powder is a source of potassium also. Then, as I said earlier, addition of azospirillum, VAM, and phosphobacteria helps in better rooting the nursery. So then, our institute also has come up with the microbial consortium for enhanced growth of nursery planting material. So it can be applied in both in black pepper nurseries as well as in the field condition. So this is called as biomix black pepper BP. This can be used as for a drenching or for along with the drenching in the rate of 20 gram per liter of water or along with the effort. You can mix them up. So by addition of this, it improves the rooting as well as the performance of the plant. You can see the robust root system where we have used this microbial consortium. It has a mixture of different growth promoting bacteria. Now, once the planting material is ready in the nursery, so this is how we will go for the planting in the main field. Usually, as I said, it is during the May and June. So this is the selection of sites. Sites with slight or moderate slope is ideal for black pepper. Southeastern slopes are to be avoided. And contouring for soil and water conservation is always good, so that it conserves the soil. Planting time, as I said, it's during May, June, at a spacing of 2.5 to 3 meter from plant to plant. And pit size is ideally 0.4 to 0.6 cubic meter. So you can see here, this is how they, because we know that black pepper is a wine, it's a perennial wine. So it requires a support tree always, because it cannot, otherwise it cannot, it will only move through the ground. It requires a support tree. So anything, as I said, aracanut, coconut, or any shade tree or forest tree, I have given here erythrina, silver oak, garuda. These are all the different support trees used for the raising the black pepper plantation. So you will, as I said here, you make the pits of 0.4 to 0.6 meter cube pits. The pits are then filled with the mixture of FOM or compost 3 to 5 kg, rock phosphate, neem cake 500 gram, and 50 gram of trichoderma inoculum. And then the rooted planting, rooted nursery plant will be placed and then covered with the fresh soil. You can see here a growing plant. So initial care of the rooted cutting. So as we know that as the vine grows, tie the shoots to the standard. You need to tie the shoot. You can see initially, you can keep tying. So it, as we see, let's see the growth here. These are the other cultural operations. So one is the tying of the shoots and regulation of shade by lopping the branches of the standards twice during June and September. This is also very important. So too much shade also will affect the, you will get only vegetative growth, you may not get any yield. So, and then it will also favor the diseases in most cases. So controlling the shade by lopping the branches of the standard, especially just before the monsoon and after the monsoon, is very important. And do not disturb the base of the vine so as to avoid the root damage, because by this method you will be causing damage to the root, which will allow the pathogens to enter into the root system. Adequate mulch with the green leaf or organic matter is an again important aspect of black pepper growing. And we can also grow cover crops, which will prevent the soil erosion. Coming to the fertilizer requirement for the black pepper. So if the soil is highly fertile soil, so in such case you have to grow 10 kg per vine FOM, and the fertilizer dose per gram per vine is NPK at the rate of 50, 50 and 100 gram per vine. And if the soil is having very low fertile, then you have to increase the NPK at the rate of 140, 55 and 270. So manuring is always, ideally it is better to give in splits, especially a minimum of 2 splits. In the ratio of, if you are going for this low fertile soil, that is 150, 55 and 270 kg NPK per hectare. So this is the split up. May, June, May you can give 10 kg FOM, 70 gram nitrogen, 50 gram P2O5 and 140 gram of potassium. And then in the second split after the monsoon, that is September, October, 70 gram nitrogen and 140 grams of K2. Mulch, as I said, the green leaves, the mulch. And if once you are established a new plantation, the first year we can give 1/3 of the dose of the fertilizer. In the second year, 2/3 of the 2/3, and third year onwards, a full dose of fertilizer. Then if you are going for a site-specific nutrient management for targeted yield, so then you can follow this table that is based on the soil test value for available nutrients. So if the nitrogen is less than 150 in the particular site where we are having the black pepper, so this is the fertilizer requirement recommended kg per hectare for yield targets of 3 ton as well as 6 ton per hectare. So if you are targeting for 3 ton, so this is the requirement of nitrogen, and if you are targeted yield is 6 ton per hectare, so you need to apply 100 kg of nitrogen per hectare. Similarly, this is the based on the soil test. If the soil, depending on the soil test, you can determine the amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium required for the targeted area. So, and in addition to this soil application, foliar supplementation, especially in the variety called Panur 1, which is a hybrid, because Panur 1 is known as a habit of alternate bearing. That means 1 year it will give very good yield, but in the subsequent year it will give a very low lean yield. So in such cases, you can increase the yield even during the lean years by giving foliar supplementation. That is foliar spray of commercial complex fertilizers like 19-all, enhance the black pepper productivity. Spraying 3 rounds of 1% solution of a complex fertilizer during spike initiation period, that is April 2nd week, May 1st week, and May 4th week, will enhance the yield by 20 to 25%. So 50% of recommended dose of K as SOP, sulfate of potash, or with or without 2% foliar spray for soils having high Ka status. If your soil is having high K, you can split like this. You can go for 2% foliar spray and remaining to the soil application. And similarly, if your soil is having a low K, we can also go for again soil application followed by 2% as a for a spray, which will enhance the yield. Now, based on our institute study has shown that many of the black pepper growing soils are also deficient in micronutrients. So, based on this, our research data, our institute has come up with a micronutrient mix to meet this gap. So, this is it's a patented product. It's available and licensed to many companies. This is called as a power mix BP. That is used recommended at the rate of 5 gram per liter in water during 2 doses spray. It is May, June, and September, October every year. So it can also be used under organic cultivation, where micronutrient requirement need to be supplemented on the restricted basis. So what we found is that the yield increase from 30 to 35% by going for micronutrient spray if the soil is deficient in the micronutrients. That's about the cultivation aspect of black pepper. Now coming to the important diseases that cause that affect the black pepper plantations. So there are 4 important diseases. The first and foremost important is the foot rot, or it's also called as quick wilt of black pepper. It is caused by Phytophthora species, that is called Phytophthora capsicum, and the Phytophthora tropicalis. These are the 2 important species associated with the foot rot disease. And then we have another disease called as a slow decline. Okay, slow decline is caused mainly caused by nematodes such as Rhadopolis similis and Melodegona incognita, and in some cases association of Phytophthora is also seen. The name indicates here the vine declines very slowly, whereas in the foot rot, as the name indicates a quick decline, the plant will die within few months. And the third important disease is the anthracnose, caused by Phytophthora species. So this is especially important in the black pepper plantation at high altitude. And we also have one viral disease on the black pepper called as stunt disease, associated caused by 2 viruses, that is tumor mosaic virus and Piper yellow moth virus. So coming to the first disease, that the foot rot, Phytophthora capsicum and Phytophthora tropicalis. So this is how the disease initiates on the leaf. Okay. Disease initiates as a black spots on the foliage with the typical fimbriations. You can see the fimbriate margins on the outer margin of the spot. So tender leaves and succulent shoot tips of the runner shoots trailing on the soil turn black and when infected. And then with the time, the infection at the collar region results in wilting of the entire plant. As the infection goes to the collar region, it leads to the wilting of the entire vine. You will see the defoliation of all the leaves of the affected plants. And consequently, within a short period, the entire plant will just succumb. You can see here some of the symptoms of Phytophthora infected or foot rot infected back of plantations. So you'll see the just dead vines hanging. Okay, here also you see. So this is how the disease causes symptoms in the field. So coming to the its spread, how it spread through infected cuttings and roots. As I already said, one has to take utmost care during nursery. Nursery planting material should be free from Phytophthora because nursery soil or roots it can go through the soil or nursery soil. So nursery material should be free from pathogens. That's why we are using potting mixture, using sterilized soil. Sorry, yeah, sterilized soil and supplemented with the biocontrol agents. To ensure that the soil is free from Phytophthora. And then aerial spread of the pathogen takes place through the rain flashes under favorable conditions. That's how you will get see the aerial symptoms. So once one plant is infected under congenial condition, the fungal zoo spores will spread through the rain flashes. So primary spread occurs at random because it depends on the source. So from the source, if there is a source, its spread starts from the source. Secondary spread is clustered around the previously infected vines. That means if the last year, the previous year, if the vine is infected, the pathogen will not die there. Pathogen will be surviving in the form of a thickened mycelia or chlamydospores, can survive for about 18 months. So under the favorable condition, this the survival or this organism will start multiply, and then the spores will spread through the rain splashes. Build-up is positively related to the soil moisture, rainfall, rainy days, and relativity. As I said, very high relativity with high soil moisture in favor. That's why disease spread is seen usually during monsoon period alone. Spread is slow through the soil, but very fast if there is a aerial spread, because we know that rain splashes can spread the disease very quickly. So coming to the management of the foot rot, so one is important is the selection of the site, okay, and then use of disease tolerant varieties. As I said, these are the some of the tolerant varieties. Okay. Use of healthy planting material, then phytosanitation to remove the source of infection, cultural practices which help the plant to overcome the chances of pathogen survival, primary spread and rapid the secondary spread. Biological interventions to suppress soil-borne pathogens, with the use of biocontrol agents. Then prophylactic measures to prevent the airborne spread, because we know that disease is spreads during monsoon, so we can take prophylactic measures during May itself. So that's how whatever the inoculum is there can be arrested. So maintaining a moderate shade, as I said earlier, is very important. Lopping of the standard, the branches of the standard trees is also important. Prevent water stagnation by undertaking the earthing up and staggered trenches or drains is also very important, especially when the black pepper is grown under plain in aracanite or coconut plantations, because water stagnation is seen very quickly. So deep drains are very important here, so that inoculum will not stay there. Avoid excess shade and also shade regulation is very important. Avoid very close planting in high rainfall and moderate rainfall zones, and remove and destroy infected plants is also very important, because this will the infected plant in the plantation serve as a source for the secondary spread. So timely removal and destroying them is also very important. Coming to the application of fungicides, so you can use copper oxychloride 0.2% at the rate of 5 to 10 liters per vine, or foliar spray with Bodo mixture 1%, or drenching with potassium phosphonate 5 to 10 liters per vine, or foliar spray with potassium phosphonate at 0.3%, or drenching with redomal mancozeb systemic fungicides at the rate of 0.125% at the rate of 5 to 10 liters per vine, or also you can go for foliar spray. So this is the usual schedule. First round during May, June, that is a prophylactic before the onset of the monsoon. Second round during August, September, and the third spray required if the monsoon prolongs during first week of October. So these are the biological control. As I said, they can be used to reduce the soil-borne pathogen. Aerial pathogen it cannot control, but at least the soil-borne pathogen can be used controlled by addition of biocontrol agents like trichoderma. So these are the biocontrol agents against the Phytophthora foodies from our institute, Trichoderma asianum or Trichoderma aspergillum. So it can be, we are selling it in the liquid formulation, in the dark formulation, and also recently we have come up with the capsules. So these are the capsules filled with the trichoderma. So you can see here. So the advantage is that this one capsule is equal to the trichoderma in 1 kg of tar. So just for 1 acre of plantation, you need just 10 capsules. 10 capsules are enough for the 1 acre of black plantation. The second important disease is, as I said, is a slow decline caused by nematodes. So it results in the yellowing of vines because these nematodes usually feeds on the tertiary roots of the black pepper, thus blocking the uptake of nutrients and water from the soil from the vine by the vine. Slowly you will see the yellowing and wilting. So that's why this is called a slow wilt. So plant will take about 5 to 6 years. The vine will die slowly in about 5 to 6 years. Here, if you look at the root portion, you will see the galls. You will see hardly any secondary roots are visible in infected plants. So if it is a rhabdopolis infection, you will see the lesions on the roots. So you will see the root system is very disturbed. I mean, sparsely root system. Many of them are already eaten away by the nematodes. So these are the nematodes in the microscope, the wall. So you will see the Melanogaene nematode here. So this can be managed in the nurseries by application of carbosulfan 0.1% at the rate of 50 ml per bag, and application of neem cake at the rate of 2 kg per vine. And we also have one biocontrol, Cochunia chlamydospora or Trichoderma aspergillum, can be used for the managing this nematode. As I said earlier, there's one resistant variety for nematode, so which can be recommended for nematode infested soils, that is Pauna. This is the Cochunia chlamydospora developed from our institute. Then there's another viral disease, as I said, is called as a stunt disease. As the name indicates, it will lead to the stunting of the virus. As you see here, the virus infection is seen causing mosaic and stunting of the plants. So this is the viral particles under the electron microscope. This is the cucumber mosaic virus. This is the Piper yellow moth virus. So these viruses are spread by wet insects such as aphids and mealybugs. So they can spread the disease from infected plant to healthy black pepper plants. So since it is virus, as we all know that there is no chemical to control the virus. So best is to avoid the presence of virus. So the planting material what we use should be free from virus. So they can be indexed for the presence of virus, so that the virus infected mother vines can be totally avoided for the production of nursery planting material. So then, as I said, this virus disease is spread through insects. So whenever we see insects in the field, it is necessary to take up control measures for the controlling the insects. So it is ideally good to develop a mother block using virus-free planting material, so that you can raise a virus-free planting material for this. Then the fourth important disease, as I said, is the anthracnose. It's also called as fungal pollu, caused by Coleotrichum pleosporides. So you'll see the disease. It causes black dots on the young leaves. You can see here. It leads to the crinkling of the leaves. Okay, it can also infect the spikes. It also leads to the spike shedding. Severely infected plants may lead to the spike shedding. So you will see here it also affects the stem, causing the dark lesions on the back of the stems. So these are the management practices for the anthracnose. So irrigating the vines at an interval of 5 to 7 days at the rate of 40 to 50 liters per plant, commencing from March followed by shade regulation to provide 7,500 to 10,000 lux lights, reduces the anthracnose incidence and spike shedding, especially the spike shedding. So in nurseries, pre-planting treatment of 2 to 3 node cuttings by immersing the nursery material with fungicides like any propiconazole or hexaconazole for 30 minutes and spraying with the Bodo mixture would help in managing or controlling the disease both in the field as well as in the nursery. So these are some of the tolerant cultivars, Imperial and Reclamunda. They are tolerant for the so these are the some recommended plant protection chemicals for controlling the disease, and this is the toxicity class. Coming to the insects that cause damage in the black pepper. So one of the important insect is called as a pullu beetle. Scientifically, it is known as Lanka Ramakrishna. Okay. So you will see fully infected the black pepper. You will see these spikes as well as the berries, hollow berries. So because they are partially eaten by the pullu beetle. So to manage that, you will see regulating the shade is again a very important factor here, and then spraying with the insecticides like chlorantraniliprole during June, July, and September, October. Spray quinalphos at the rate of 0.05% during July, followed by neem gold at the rate of 0.6 during July, August, September, and October. If you see the infestation. Second important insect is the scale insect. Okay, you will see the scale infected you can see the stem and the nodal region. You can see the full of scale growth here. So in such cases, you can prune and destroy the severely infected shoots and then spray with the imidacloprid 0.05% twice at 21 days interval. In nurseries, spray neem oil or fresh fish oil rosin at the rate of 3% twice at 21 days interval. Another important pest attacking this black pepper is the root mealybug, that is different species of planococcus. So it attacks the root as well as area shoot, but managing the root mealybug is really difficult because it is underground, and any chemical you apply to reach this and kill the mealybug is very difficult. So this problem is more after the post-monsoon season, especially September onwards. So the management practice includes remove the weeds during post-monsoon and summer seasons, and drench the infected or affected plants with imidacloprid at the rate of 0.5%. Tobacco extract 3% is also found to be promising in the to manage if the infestation is very mild. That's about the disease and pest problem with black pepper. Now coming to the harvesting of black pepper. So as we all know, the black pepper is used for different purposes. If your interest is to produce black pepper, white pepper, so it should be harvested after they fully mature. And if it is for the black pepper, then fully mature, and when the 1 to 2 berries in a spike turns yellow to red, so this is the right time if you are using it as a black pepper. If it is used for canned pepper, 4 to 5 months, that is immature stage, we should harvest. If it is for the dehydrated green pepper, 10 to 15 days before maturity. Similarly, for your interest is to extract the oleoresin and pepper oil, so they also should be, because you get more oleoresin and pepper oil if it is harvested just about 15 to 20 days before maturity. The white pepper you will see here. Harvesting of the black pepper, harvesting is done 6 to 8 months after flowering. So you can see here, usually manual harvesting is done. So you can climb and manually harvest it. So once it is harvested, then the primary processing, so which involves threshing, blanching, drying, grading, and packing. So threshing can be done manually. You can see here by you can press the spikes with the help of your foot, or it can then you can see it can be separated, or you can also use mechanical threshers. This is a thresher developed by Tamil Nadu Agricultural University. So then once it is done, then the next is the blanching. So blanching can be done by placing the whatever for product in the hot water, and then the next step is the grading. So grading can be done by using graders, and then it can be dried in the solar, the sun, open sun. It can be dried for 2 days to get the to retain the color. Thank you. This is very briefly I have told about the black pepper production and important diseases and pests attacking this plant or crop, and the method of its harvest and primary processing. With this, I will close, and I can take up any queries if anybody has. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for a very detailed presentation. I'll take up some questions now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen so that we can see your complete video? Yes, okay, I can see you. Thank you. So I'll take up the first question. Yeah, which is the current best yielding pepper variety in India?
Yeah, that's what I told you. Large, heavy, highly cultivated or large area, it's a Paneer 1. Paneer 1 is the one which is largely grown. It is high yielded, it's hybrid. As I said, it has an alternate bearing. That is, 1 year it gives very good yield. Second year it may not give. In such cases, if we go for a high production technology, as I said, foliar supplement and things like that, you can get very high yield every year in Paneer 1 also. But if your purpose is for other purpose like for pepper oil or oleoresin, black Paneer 1 may not be the choice, because it is not having that high oleoresin or oil content. So if it is for the black pepper, yes, because it is having gold berries, and Paneer 1 can be very good. And we have equally good varieties like IAS or Tevam, which is having very high dry recovery. So this is also competing now very well. Many of the farmers are now growing this ISR Tevam, as I said. Another advantage of ISR Tevam is that it's also tolerant to the foot rot, the Phytophthora foot rot disease.
Okay. And the next question is, in Tamil Nadu, which are the regions where pepper is grown?
Yeah, it is only in the Western Ghat region. Only in the Western Ghat region you find, adjoining to Kerala region, high altitude regions.
Okay. And next question is, can pepper be grown in northern India regions? Northern
India, because the temperature goes very low, I'm afraid it cannot be grown under natural condition, because you will not get any flowering under that very low temperature. Because temperature goes to 3, 4 or even lower than that. So in such condition, it cannot survive. And it's not having the humid tropic climate is required, because North India you get very dry period for a few months. So if you can maintain artificially controlled condition, yes, it may be possible. In fact, there are some under few acres people are trying now by creating artificial conditions required for black pepper. So I know that few companies are doing experiment, not only for black pepper, even for cardamom. So they are doing the experiment, but they have invested a lot creating an artificial condition what we find in Western world. But we need to look and see their success.
Okay, I'll move to next question now.
Yeah.
What are some of the latest research going on in pepper in India?
Yeah, see, our institute is working on all aspects. That is, crop improvement division is working on the development of new varieties. So as I said, the major challenge is one is the yield. Yield is not only the major challenge, because black pepper is also used for, as I said, piperine, oil, and then several other industrial purpose also. So getting a variety with high oil is also a priority our institute. So we are developing varieties for keeping this in mind. We have a large collection of germplasm, about 3,000 different black pepper accessions. So we have, and we are screening them. We are identifying the lines which are having very high oil, high oleoresin, so that they can be bred, and we can get varieties with very high piperin and oil. That's one area. Then another area is disease. As I said, Phytophthora foot rot is one of the major disease. So every year we lose so many plants or plantations for this disease. So developing a resistant variety for this is a real challenge. Though we have some varieties which are not resistant, they are only tolerant. So under high epidemics, these also cannot withstand this pathogen. So another very important area where we work is the developing Phytophthora tolerant or Phytophthora resistant varieties. Okay, so this is a very full team is many teams are working in this. Again, we are identifying. In fact, we have identified some sources in the wild black pepper or piper species where we have the resistant source against this. So we are now trying to incorporate to this resistance into the cultivated black pepper variety, so that we can come up with a black pepper which is resistant to this disease. So then, of course, then as I said, we are also working on the how to increase the productivity. That is increasing the yield. As I said, you can target a yield. So what is the pruning mechanism required? What is the irrigation required? What is the fertilizer dose? And different is like similarly spraying of the fertilizers. So that aspect also we are working. And then another aspect which our institute is working is the mechanization, because we know that black pepper is very labor intensive, especially it requires skilled workers, especially for spraying as well as for harvesting. So only skilled person can climb the tree and make the, spraying can be done effectively. Similarly, for harvesting also, one has to climb the tree and harvest. So institute is working on these lines to come up with some machinery for this harvesting and spraying, and similarly for the processing. So processing also, very few people are now depending on the mechanical threshers or things like that. So in that line also the institute is working. And then of course the secondary products like so pepper can also be used for different purposes. So in that area also good work is going on in the institute. Yeah, this is in nutshell about the research going on in our institute.
Okay, I'll take up the next question now.
Yeah.
How successful is intercropping pepper and coconuts?
Coconut, it is a successful story, no issues at all. Black pepper, and only thing is you have to see that harvesting only, harvesting time. So when you, because one has to climb, so one should not be damaged. That's the only issue. Otherwise, black coconut, aracanut are successful as an intercrop in the black. Very successful intercrop in the black pepper is a successful intercrop in the coconut plantation as well.
Okay. Okay, I don't see any further questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. Agricultureinformation.com likes to thank Dr. Ishwara Bhat for answering for a very good presentation and answering all the questions very patiently. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the time and for giving me this opportunity to share.
You're most welcome, sir. Thank you.
Shall I leave now?
Yes, sir, you can leave.
Oh.